If the world's oceans suddenly disappeared, Earth would enter conditions the planet has not experienced for millions of years. The ocean covers about 70% of Earth's surface and plays a crucial role in maintaining climate, life, and the balance of the atmosphere. Its sudden disappearance would trigger a chain reaction of dramatic changes. First of all, the enormous landscape of the ocean floor would be revealed. Areas that are currently hidden beneath water would become new continents. Vast plains, deep canyons, and long mountain ranges would appear. For example, in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean lies a massive underwater ridge that is actually the longest mountain system on the planet. The deepest point of the ocean, the Mariana Trench, would become a gigantic valley more than 10 kilometers deep. However, the biggest problem would not be the new landscapes, but the climate. The ocean acts as a giant temperature regulator. Water heats up slowly and cools down slowly, which helps smooth out extreme temperature changes. Without the oceans, this stabilizing system would stop working. Days would become extremely hot, while nights would become extremely cold. In many regions, the difference between day and night temperatures could reach dozens of degrees. Another major effect would be the disappearance of rainfall. Almost all the water that falls as rain or snow first evaporates from the ocean's surface. Without this source, the atmosphere would quickly become dry. Clouds would almost stop forming, and rainfall would become extremely rare. Most rivers, lakes, and even underground water reserves would gradually dry up. The composition of the atmosphere would also change. Marine phytoplankton, microscopic organisms living in the upper layers of the ocean, produce a significant portion of the oxygen on Earth. If the oceans disappeared, this process would stop. Oxygen would not vanish immediately, but its gradual decline would affect ecosystems across the planet. Temperature changes would become even more extreme because ocean currents would no longer transport heat around the planet. Today, these currents move warm and cold water between the equator and the poles, distributing energy across the globe. Without this mechanism, some regions would become unbearably hot, while others would become extremely cold. The disappearance of the oceans would also affect pressure on Earth's crust. Billions of tons of water currently press down on the oceanic plates. If that enormous weight suddenly vanished, the crust would slowly rise. This could trigger increased volcanic activity and powerful earthquakes, especially along underwater mountain ridges. In addition, the ocean stores a massive amount of heat. Without it, the planet would lose heat into space much faster. Over time, Earth's climate would become more unstable and extreme. The planet could begin to resemble a colder and drier world similar to Mars, although the atmosphere would remain thicker for some time. For living organisms, the consequences would be catastrophic. Most species on Earth depend directly or indirectly on the ocean. Marine ecosystems would disappear immediately, and land ecosystems would begin to collapse due to water shortages and climate changes. In conclusion, the ocean is not just a huge body of water. It is a system that stabilizes temperature, drives the water cycle, produces oxygen, and supports life across the planet. Without it, Earth would quickly transform into a cold, dry, and nearly lifeless world. What do you think about this? Write your thoughts in the comments.